What if I told you the most dangerous drones on Earth don't need broken bar, don't need signals broken bar, and can still hunt targets with terrifying precision? When Iran tried to blind the battlefield, Israel's drones didn't just adapt, they rewrote the rules of modern warfare forever. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today's story begins with something that sounds impossible. Imagine a battlefield where GPS is completely jammed, satellites are blinded, and communication signals are dead. In modern warfare, that should mean total paralysis, but in this case, it didn't. Instead, it marked the beginning of one of the most shocking shifts in military history. Israel's AI-powered drones continued flying, identifying targets, and striking with precision, all without GPS. For Iran, this wasn't just a tactical surprise, it was a strategic nightmare. For decades, GPS jamming was considered one of the strongest defenses against advanced air threats. But suddenly, that defense meant nothing. These drones didn't ask for instructions. They didn't wait for commands. They analyzed terrain, recognized patterns, and made decisions in real time. This wasn't science fiction. This was real-world combat evolution unfolding silently above hostile territory. And what made it even more terrifying was how quietly it happened. No dramatic announcements, no warnings, just results. In today's video, we're going deep inside how Israel's drones shocked Iran, exposed the limits of electronic warfare, and proved that the future of combat no longer depends on satellites, it depends on intelligence itself. To understand why this moment was so significant, we need to look at how modern militaries rely on GPS. Nearly every advanced weapon system today depends on satellite navigation, from fighter jets to cruise missiles and drones. Iran invested heavily in electronic warfare specifically to exploit this dependency. Their strategy was simple: jam GPS signals, confuse navigation systems, and turn high-tech weapons into useless metal. And for years, this worked against many opponents. But Israel anticipated this exact scenario. Instead of relying purely on external signals, Israeli engineers built drones that could think independently. These systems use artificial intelligence, onboard sensors, terrain mapping, and visual recognition to navigate and identify targets without GPS. When Iran activated its jamming systems, it expected silence in the sky. Instead, the drones kept moving. They adapted instantly, switching from satellite guidance to AI-based navigation. This moment shattered a long-standing assumption in warfare that cutting signals means stopping attacks. For Iran's defense planners, it was a brutal realization. The battlefield had evolved faster than their countermeasures. GPS denial no longer guaranteed safety, and once that truth became clear, the psychological impact was just as damaging as the physical one. What truly sets these drones apart is not just their ability to fly without GPS, but how they see the battlefield. Israeli drones are equipped with advanced electro-optical sensors, infrared imaging, and machine learning algorithms trained on massive datasets. This allows them to recognize buildings, vehicles, terrain features, and even subtle environmental changes. Instead of following pre-programmed routes, they dynamically adapt mid-flight. If a target moves, the drone adjusts. If conditions change, it recalculates. This level of autonomy reduces human reaction time to near zero. In traditional drone warfare, operators guide strikes remotely, but signal jamming disrupts that link. These drones don't need constant human input. They can complete missions independently, even in heavily contested environments. For Iran, this created an impossible defense problem. How do you stop a weapon that doesn't rely on signals you can block? How do you confuse a system that learns as it flies? The answer is, you can't, at least not easily. This is why military analysts around the world took notice. What Israel demonstrated wasn't just a new drone, it was a new philosophy of warfare. The shockwave from this development didn't stay confined to Iran. Militaries across the globe began reassessing their own defenses. Electronic warfare was supposed to be the great equalizer against technologically superior forces, but Israel's drones proved that autonomy can bypass even the most aggressive jamming environments. This shifted the balance of power in subtle but profound ways. Smaller forces with advanced AI could now penetrate defenses that once required massive air campaigns. It also raised uncomfortable questions about escalation and control. When machines make decisions faster than humans can intervene, the pace of warfare accelerates dramatically. Israel, however, maintains strict human oversight protocols, ensuring these systems operate within defined rules of engagement. Still, the message was clear: the future belongs to those who master AI-driven autonomy. Iran's defenses weren't just tested today, they were conceptually outpaced. And once a military doctrine is exposed as outdated, rebuilding confidence takes years. Iran's response to this revelation was cautious but telling. Publicly, officials downplayed the impact. Privately, analysts scrambled to understand what went wrong. The reality was harsh. Years of investment in GPS jammers and signal disruption had been partially neutralized. This forced Iran to rethink its defensive priorities. Instead of focusing solely on electronic warfare, attention shifted toward layered air defenses, kinetic interception, and counter-eye strategies. But developing those capabilities takes time, resources, and technological depth. Israel's advantage wasn't just hardware, it was experience. Years of real-world operations, constant iteration, and battlefield feedback refined these systems beyond theoretical models. This gap between tested capability and experimental defense is where the true imbalance lies. And in modern conflict, imbalance equals vulnerability. From a strategic perspective, these drones give Israel unprecedented reach. GPS-denied environments are no longer safe zones. Hardened facilities, remote locations, and heavily jammed regions can still be accessed. This dramatically expands operational options without escalating to full-scale war. Precision, discretion, and deniability become tools of influence. For Iran, this creates constant uncertainty. If defenses can't guarantee protection, deterrence weakens. And when deterrence weakens, strategic calculations change. This is why AI drones are more than weapons, they are psychological instruments. They force adversaries to assume they are always visible, always reachable. Globally, this development is accelerating an AI arms race. Nations now understand that autonomy is not optional, it's essential. The question is no longer who has the most drones, but who has the smartest ones. Israel's success demonstrates that battlefield intelligence matters more than numbers. Adaptability beats brute force. And systems that learn outperform systems that simply follow instructions. This shift mirrors broader trends in technology, where software defines capability more than hardware. In warfare, that means innovation cycles are shortening, and traditional advantages are eroding faster than ever before. Ethical concerns inevitably follow. Autonomous systems raise questions about accountability, escalation, and decision-making authority. Israel argues that AI enhances precision and reduces collateral damage by minimizing human error. Critics worry about reliance on machines in life-and-death scenarios. The reality lies somewhere in between. What's undeniable is that these systems are already here, already deployed, and already changing outcomes. Ignoring them won't stop their spread. Understanding them is the only way forward. For Iran, the lesson is painful but clear. Defensive strategies must evolve beyond single-domain solutions. Signal jamming alone is no longer enough. Future defenses will require AI of their own, AI systems capable of detecting patterns, predicting behavior, and responding dynamically. But catching up to an opponent who has years of operational experience is an uphill battle. And until that gap closes, the strategic imbalance remains. Israel's AI drones didn't just bypass GPS jamming, they bypassed an entire way of thinking about warfare. They proved that intelligence, autonomy, and adaptability are now the core pillars of military power. For Iran, this was a wake-up call. For the world, it was a warning. The era of signal-dependent warfare is ending. The era of thinking machines has begun. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do AI weapons make the world safer or more dangerous? Stay tuned to Warvex Intelligence for deep, no-hype military analysis you won't find anywhere else.